Well, it is a little early here on a Wednesday. It is a little early here on a Wednesday indeed. But let's get this started with another edition, another weekly Wednesday edition of Outlaw Radio. I, of course, am the Outlaw Tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome for being here today. Let me turn down that music and get rid of it for now. Perfect. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Outlaw Radio. I, of course, am the Outlaw Tonight. Professional wrestler, writer, author, a bunch of other things. But quite frankly, I'm also right now just a guy with thoughts, and I want to share them here online, whether it's here on YouTube Live, here on TikTok Live, where we're at this moment in time. Eventually, I'm going to get it rebroadcasting and all of my socials and all the way out there in the world. So first and foremost, happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a great time today, wherever the heck you are in the world. I'm based here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, as most of you know. For those of you that are hanging out regulars or otherwise, it's always good to have you here. It is a gorgeous day today. It's a gorgeous day. I actually did a little bit of yard work before I came in and got some of my actual work done. Outlaw Radio is a concept that I've wanted to do forever. A chance for me to come out here and share my thoughts about life, the universe, and everything, to borrow Douglas Adams. But quite frankly, that is truly what it is. With this, I will be, in many instances, talking about my 3+ decades of experience in the professional wrestling industry. Talking about my time and love for all of the things that are pop culture and artistry, and with my writing and more. And I also spent a fair bit of time talking about mental health and challenges. And I think today's episode is going to be a little bit more of that focused and that heavy at this point in time, which is fine. Don't mind the coffee. I'm going to need the coffee to get through this one today. I know I normally go live later on in the day, but life being what it is, I think it's important that I just commit to a Wednesday right now, which is the goal. Before I get into today's topic, which is, of course, letting it go. And while I might be able to carry a tune in a bucket, I don't think I'm going to do much actual singing. But thank you all the same for those of you who are doing that stuff. Today I would like to talk, I want to take this opportunity to remind everybody that up over here, if you take a look at that on the QR code, if you scan that right now, of course, you can go to my link tree where you can get a chance to see all of the ways that you can support me and the work that I do here. If, of course, you're here live and you'd like to join in the conversation, please leave a comment on the live chat below. Or if you'd even like to be so kind as to hit the link and maybe you can join me live for conversation, we can do that as well. But again, before we do that, I would like to remind you all that I do have a bunch of different stuff available. Of course, if you go to the link tree right now, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one right there. There it is. There it is. Here's my big main logo. This is, of course, one of the main logos you can get here up the QR code to go and support me. So if you like this and some of my other designs that are available, please go to the links there. You can either go to the Pro Wrestling Tees page in the United States or abroad, or the Great White North page as well, where you can get access to this and all different types of hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and more. Of course, also, if you could be so kind as to consider going to the links there and checking out my books on Amazon. Of course, I do love writing, and I do love the concept of, getting my words down on the page for everybody to like and enjoy. So if that's something you're interested in, my books are available in ebook, paperback, and hardcover, and I have a copy of one of them right here for anybody who's interested. If you're interested in autographed signed copy, message me directly. I'll take some out of my collection, and we can talk about shipping and arrangements at that point in time. But please, if you like reading, if you like adventures, if you happen to like, say, the Harry Dresden novels or Jack Reacher or any of that sort of action adventure stuff, I think my books would be for you. So thank you again for that. All right, let's get back to me. So here's where I'm going to keep the hat on, but show my age a little bit, because I'm going to need to get this thing taken care of. My goodness. After being sick last week, and I was brutal sick last week, I thought I'd gotten over most of that, but it appears I still have a little bit of a cough hanging on. Maybe it was more of a flu than the food poisoning I thought it was. Anyways, I don't want to mumble. Today, because it's been on my mind a lot, and my good buddy Ken Knapsack's Monday morning stream this weekend reminded me about it in its own way with his own discussion. So I guess I'm piggybacking a little bit. I'd like to talk about the concept of letting it go, letting things go. And yes, there's obviously a very famous song by a certain Snow Queen princess that really puts this in perspective, and it's certainly been an anthem for children for the last decade or so, and I think that's great. But I really do think it's more than just Elsa's song. It is about being able to release the things in your life that are holding you back. And that can be professionally, that can be emotionally, obviously, and that can be like in your personal friendship life, with the people you interact with on a day-to-day basis. Letting it go is so much more than just, someone's done something to me or someone has said something dumb and it's driving me crazy and I don't know what to do about it. Bah, I can't handle it anymore. I'm just going to let it go and move on in my life. That's helpful. And there are times where, you do need to do that. But in my opinion, it's much more about taking in something that's happened to you or something you've done, thoroughly processing it, coming to a conclusion that, you've either done the best you could with it, you've handled things as best as you possibly could, you've realized you maybe made a mistake or someone has wronged you or whatever like that. And you've now come to a point where you can go, hey, I don't need to spend any more time dwelling on this. The longer I dwell on this thing, whatever it might be, the more likely it is to continue to hold me back. And I think that's an important thing to realize. I think it's an important part of maturing. I think it's certainly something that men and women of my generation and any generation definitely struggle with. We love to hold on to things like a burning coal of hatred that just sits in the pit of our stomach and stays there. Just stays there. And all it does is eat you up from the inside. The number of people I've met that have said, the mistakes that I've made and the people that have wronged me, I use that as fuel and I use that as a chip in my shoulder and I'll use it to prove them all wrong. Well, that works for a time. Not to get all Star Wars, but that way leads to darkness. That will work for a time. It will give you strength and it will be quick bursts of energy and it will drive you to want to do something. But if you're still holding on to it after the wrong has been settled or you've proved it or done whatever you've needed to do and you found that it's not enough and it's not enough, it's not enough, it just leaves that gaping emptiness inside of you after you've pursued whatever it is that you've been holding on to. It's time to let it go. Because at the end of the day, no amount of perceived success, no amount of perceived revenge, no amount of perceived righting of a wrong will ever fill that void. Therapy talk with the Out Loud night. I know, it's crazy. Now, letting it go can be seen as forgiveness. And what people often screw up or, misinterpret because, we always remember as we were kids, we're always asking our parents to forgive us for, spilling milk on the carpet or saying the wrong thing at dinner or whatever it happens to be, right? But forgiveness, in case you didn't know, and it's very much a high therapy thing right now, but it's still very true. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for me. When I can forgive someone for something, what I'm basically saying at this point in time is like, that happened. It hurt. It caused me trauma and it caused me angst and anxiety, and it has affected me. But now I'm ready to forgive that hurt because I'm ready to move on. And I'm ready to acknowledge that all those things happened and moving on. Now, of course, forgiveness is not the same as forgetfulness. Part of forgiving someone who may have wronged you is being able to process that happened. I acknowledge how it made me feel, but I also acknowledge why it happened. I acknowledge what the other person got out of it. And I also try to acknowledge what caused them to do it. So that way, with any luck and any hope, you can go forward and you can continue to, you can learn from it. And you can learn that this is the type of person perhaps that, You can forgive them what they've done, but by not forgetting, you will keep them from doing the same thing to you again down the road. Hello, Perseverance. Hello, everyone on TikTok. Thank you for being here today. I'm, of course, live here on YouTube and on TikTok, talking about the concept of letting things go here on this week's episode of Outlaw Radio. The process of learning to forgive other people, in my opinion, and I think overall in general, the process of learning to forgive other people is important because at that point in time, then you can learn how to forgive yourself. Because again, forgiveness is for me. So many instances in my life when I was younger and growing where I can look at my own actions, my own words, my own behaviors, and I can say, hey, I was the shithead. I'm the one who did the wrong. So how do I fix it? And sometimes you can't. Not right away, maybe not ever. But holding on to that feeling of being a terrible person is no better than holding on to the feeling of other people are terrible people for having done stuff to you. All that ever really does is drag you down, beats you up, rips a part of your stomach like the worst kind of cancer. It's self-inflicted. And by continuing to hold on to it, you might think, I hold on to this pain so that it will inspire me to do better. Well, the only real way to do better for yourself is just to be better. To let it go. Let go of that pain. It happened. You've dealt with it. You've processed it. You won't forget it. And now by forgiving yourself, you're ready to let it go. And of course, all of this shit is not easy. It is brutal, 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 brutal hard, as all things in life often are. You know, the words are easy. Let it go. It's fine. Who cares? Move on. You care. If you didn't care, it wouldn't bug you. If you didn't care, we wouldn't have to be talking about, the process of processing things, process of processing. Is that what they do with potato chips? They process the processing. Anyways, they do. I've lost my own train of thought. What was I saying? It is brutal hard because, if it was easy to do as just saying it, everyone would do it. But the truth is, it's not. Because we're dealing with complex emotions. And even though the fuck your feelings crowd out there would want to say that, your facts matter more than feelings, the truth is that that's bullshit. Everyone knows that it's feelings that drive the people. It's feelings that drive the connections you have with yourself and with others. And it's those feelings that inspire and push you in the directions that you ultimately want to go. Facts are important. Facts can help you quantify your feelings and be part of the process of itemizing things and putting them where they need to go, and help you in the process of being able to let things go. But it's the feelings that are the driving force. The feelings are the driving force. Because if they weren't, you're not going to be able to move on without a heart, without a problem. And we'd all be kind of sociopathic. Oh, excuse me. Now, I want to say at this point in time that I am very thankful in my life to have both creative outlets in a literary sense, and of course, in a fantasy violence sense, and not always fantasy violence sense as a professional wrestler, to be able to deal with a lot of these feelings. To truly be able to deal with a lot of these feelings. By doing the morality plays of professional wrestling, where we have, people pursuing other people in the hopes of, achieving financial success or titles or legacy or right versus wrong, good versus evil, I get to exercise a lot of these internal demons by, quote unquote, beating the snot out of and having the snot beaten out of me in return by, for the entertainment of an audience. And that is very therapeutic. That is a very therapeutic way of doing things. And I enjoy that. Also with my writing, I am able to take a look at a lot of the things that are in my life, that are in my soul, that I have challenges with, that I have personal strife with. And I wonder, how do I move forward with that? How do I get to a place where I can sort this stuff out? And through writing, through wrestling, through being creative, I'm very grateful to be able to have another outlet with which to process these feelings. To be able to go, this makes me feel a certain way because of this instant and my interaction with this person, and it is a lot, and it's hard. None of it's easy. Again, nothing's easy. But in my case, I'm lucky. I'm grateful, very grateful to have a healthy outlet for a lot of that stuff to help me get to the point when I have the things in my life that I'm struggling with that I need to let go. And so what are these things? Everyone's got different things in their life that they need to let go of, that they're struggling with. Everyone's got different challenges. So what are they for me? I need to let go of the need to be good or great at everything. Every week I come down to my little storage room office basement here, and I try to, all at the same time, advance my career, develop an online social media presence so that I can, be a better communicator, wrestler, broadcaster, live stream guy, TikTok person, whatever. I try to be a better author. But more also, I try to be really focusing on, the marketing of these books and getting them out there, getting them in people's eyeballs and whatever. I try to focus on building a community on Patreon. And that's just my selfish stuff for me. Never mind being a good partner to the woman who loves me very much. Being there for my aging mother who's struggling with a lot of different things. Being a good dad. Being a good dad to my little girl who needs me more and more every day. All of these things are important. All of these things require my time and my energy. And I can't let go really of any of them. But what I can let go of is the need to do it all at once. Because I can't. I can't. Nobody can. Nobody can look at like the 20 or 30 things on their plate and go, I will be great at all of this and I will make time for all of this and still be able to sleep and not get sick and all of those other things. We just can't do that. I've tried. Believe me. I've really, really tried, and I've nearly killed myself in the attempt of doing it, quite literally. And I don't want to do it anymore because that sucks. It sucks donkey balls through a straw is what it does. I have to let go of the feeling of not being able to always be there for everyone. Again, these are very important people in my life. Ripped my heart out that last night I wasn't able to go to my daughter's band recital. I was able to go to the afternoon performance. I was able to spend some time with her and do those things, but last night I couldn't because I had an employment opportunity last night that I could not turn down because responsibility is a thing. But it ripped me apart. It ripped me apart to drop her off at her school, to be there with her mother, and knowing that I couldn't be there to stay. It sucked. It sucks now. Makes me want to hurt myself right now. But I have to let it go because at the end of the day, I'm there for her as often as I can be. And I'm there for her when it matters. And I will be there for her today. Same as I was this morning and the same as I will be for her sporting event tonight. If I am going to beat myself up for all of the things that I feel that are my failures and things that I can't do, I also have to reward myself for the times I succeed at the things that I want to do. And not diminish those things. That's a different podcast, but similar topic. Other things I still need to let go of. I'm better at this one, but it's true all the same. I need to let go of the need to convince other people of their misconceptions of me. I don't know why that bothers me. It really does. I spent a whole lifetime, it seems in my youth, trying to pretend to be other things for other people. And yes, I realize it's ironic for a guy who, plays the Southern style Western outlaw in a professional wrestling ring and does play characters, but on some level, it does and still does bother me, when I think people perceive me a certain way that I don't want to be perceived. What other people think of you or me is none of my business. It's a tough thing to remember, but it's a good habit to get into. Trying to understand that stuff. I need to let go of trying to argue with other people when they have hateful opinions, whether that's about life, fascism, Star Wars, art, wrestling. They have opinions I disagree with. Maybe they're founded by something useful. It's not up to me to try to argue with them all the time. I'm bad at that. I have to let go of the fact that as I round the corner at 50 years old, that I'm not going to be as fit or as athletic as I used to be. And that's really hard because that's something I've struggled with my whole life. Body dysmorphia, the feeling that I'm not good enough to be an athletic pro wrestler when I've now seen more than enough evidence in the last couple of months as I've been doing my From the Vault uploads that I was pretty fit. I was doing okay, and I kept up with some real athletes. But now I sit here and go, maybe I'm not going to be able to bench 300 pounds anymore. That's okay. Maybe I have to change my workouts completely because I now have different goals in my life. That's probably okay as well. I need to let go of the man I used to be to make room for the man that I'm trying to be. There's some deep shit for you. Letting go of things that we've held on to for a great point of time in our life isn't about saying those things were bad and putting them behind me. Letting go of those things that have harmed us, that have wronged us, or even the things that were good for us. It's about acknowledging that there is a season for everything in life. Good, bad, sad, joyful, troubling, challenging. By being able to let it go, we now make room for the new joy, for the new heartache, for the new challenges, for the new opportunities. We let go of our past in order to make room for our future. And that was this week's episode of Outlaw Radio. Thank you for everyone that popped through here on YouTube. Again, if you would be so kind as to hit the QR code to check out the links for all the ways you can support me, or check the info down below to do that as well more directly. If you're checking this out later here on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever I repost it, please please share it out. I'd really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel. I am trying to build a following on here. Again, I need to let go of being able to do it all at once, but I would really like to continue to build this community. Please consider joining me on Patreon. That would be wonderful. And love somebody today. Love the people in your life. Give them all the love and support that you possibly can. It is a challenging world out there. All right. So for now, until next Wednesday, I'm the Outlaw Adam Knight. You've been listening to Outlaw Radio. Thank you for being here, and good night. Good day. Good whatever it is when you